Okay, so welcome to part 2, year 9. So you've got 7 questions left, so make sure you're marking as you go along. So we've got 132 to 60 as our ratio for this one. And as I said, we need to make that a little bit more manageable. So we know that they're both even numbers, so why don't we start by just halving both of them? So if I divide both sides by 2, on this side, I'm going to have 30. And on this side, I am going to have 66, okay? So if I pop my 66 in here, so now those numbers are a little bit more manageable, aren't they? I can try and figure out what goes into both of them. But if I was still struggling, I could just halve them again, couldn't I? So if I wanted to, I could do divide it by 2 here and here, and I would get 15 on this side, and I would get 33 on this side. Now they look a little bit more manageable, don't they? Because I can see that 3 goes into both of those, okay? So now I can divide both sides by 3. 33 divided by 3 is 11. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So that's what, if they're really big numbers to start with and they're even, then you could have a go at halving them until you kind of make them a little bit smaller so you can see what other numbers go into them as well. But that's our final answer there, okay? Okay, so on to the next one then. So this time we've got 9 times £60, okay? So we could, in this one, because 9 is so close to 10, isn't it? We could do 10 times £60 equals £600. But I've got 10 lots of 60 and I only wanted 9 lots of 60. So in order to get 9 lots of 60, I would just need to take away 60 from this one, and that would leave me with £540, wouldn't it? Okay, so that would be our answer there. So try and make it as easy as possible. You know how to times by 10 to get 600. And if I want 9, then I just times by 10 and take away one of them, okay, to get my 540. Now the next one we'll do how we've done in previous times, okay? So we're going to have our 6, and we're going to times each bit by 6, okay? So we've got 50, we've got 3, we've got 80p, and we've got 5p. Okay, so 6 times £50 would be £300. 6 times £3 would be £18. Now 6 times 80p, so 6 times 8 is 48, but then I'm going to have to add my 0, so that would be £4.80. So let's add in our zeros here to make it nice and easy. And then 6 times 5p would be nice and small, would be 30p. Okay? So then all I've got to do is add those together and I've got my answer, which would equal £323 and 10p. Okay, so we should have £323 and 10p as our final answer. Okay, moving on then. So we've got the median this time. So as I said before, the first thing to do when we're trying to find the median is to put them in order of size. So our smallest one is here. So we're going to write that one first, 0.9. And we're going to cross her off as we go. So the next one, we've got a 1 here and a 1 here. So they would be next, wouldn't we? We've got a 1 and then we've got another 1. So let's cross those off. Up next, we've got a 1.3. Cross that one off. Then we've got a 1.9. Cross that one off. Then we've got a 2.4. Okay, so how many numbers have we got in total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've got to find the middle. So the middle would actually be here. Okay, so it would be between 1 and 1.3. So then what we've got to do is we've got to find the middle between those two, okay? So we've got to find out the difference. So what is the difference between 1 and 1.3? Well, the difference is 0.3. We've then got to halve that, so divide that by 2 equals 0.15, and then we can just add that to the 1. So the middle, the median is 1.15. Okay, so that's the answer there. So that one was a little bit more difficult than previous ones. This one might be a little bit easier, so let's have a go at this one. It's always easier if there's an odd amount of numbers, and here we've got 5. So let's start with the smallest number. So the smallest number here is 0.8, so let's write 0.8. The next smallest is 1.1, and then it's 1.3, then 1.6, then 1.7. So for this one, so if we go in from the sides, we know that the middle is this one because the middle of 5 is 3. So nice and simply for this one, the answer is 1.3. Okay, final two then. Complete the equivalent fraction. So if you remember, equivalent just means the same, okay? So it's given us the numerator for both of them. So I've got to ask myself, in multiplication, how did I get from 7 to 35? What did I have to times 7 by? So I had to times 7 by 5, because 7 times 5 is 35. I just now have to do the same to the bottom. So I have to do 11 times 5, which equals 55. So the answer is 35 over 55. Now the next one's a little bit easier. So we've been given the denominator for these. So what do I have to times 8 by to get to 32? Well, I have to times 8 by 4. So then I've just got to do the same to the top. So 3 times 4 is 12. So there's my answer, 12 over 32. Okay, so those are your 20 questions. Those are the answers to all of them. So make sure you've given yourself a mark out of 20. You've corrected any that didn't quite go as well as you'd hoped. And I hope you have a lovely weekend and your next maths work will be set on Monday.